There was a time early in my career when I believed that the more statistics I used, the smarter I would appear. I memorized lists, percentages, and theories, and delivered them all in an endless stream. I thought that made me credible. But after one lecture, a woman approached me and said, "Bob, I'm sure everything you said is true, but I couldn't feel anything." That was a wake-up call. I wanted to teach, to inspire, to transform. But without emotion, none of that happens. So I began observing my mentors, great communicators and leaders who moved crowds. And I noticed they all had one thing in common. No matter the topic, they always told stories. Stories of transformation, failure, and overcoming challenges. Stories that allowed people to see themselves inside them. Almost like looking into a mirror. A story isn't just about what happened, it's about who someone can become through it. And science confirms this in a remarkable way. Neuroscientific research shows that when we hear a story, multiple regions of the brain activate simultaneously, areas responsible for emotion, memory, empathy, language, and movement. It's as if the brain lives the story with you. And when the brain leaves it, it learns deeper, remembers longer, and transforms more profoundly. You've probably felt this before, listening to someone tell a story so vividly that you fall silent, imagining every detail. A story that gave you chills for no reason. That happens because storytelling reaches parts of the brain that cold facts never touch. A well-structured story leaves a clear emotional trace. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, tension, a turning point, and a revelation. That's why when you explain something complex through a story, suddenly everything becomes simple. The listener doesn't struggle to understand, they just follow the journey. And every journey has a moment of transformation. That's the magic. I remember one particular story I told years ago. People still repeat it today. I spoke about a time in my life when everything seemed to collapse. Furthermore, I had doubts, debts, and fear, and I was one step away from quitting a job that could have changed my life. And in that moment, I chose to trust. That single choice changed the entire course of my story. When I shared it, I wasn't just describing events. I was showing vulnerability, humanity, showing that even someone like me had been there. And when I finished, the room was silent. People weren't just listening, they were feeling the story inside them. That's the greatest proof that storytelling isn't about you, it's about what it awakens in others. Every story is a bridge, a connection, an opportunity to reach people where arguments cannot. That's why a well-told story keeps living in people's minds long after the conversation ends. They repeat it. They share it. Furthermore, they remember it. Because stories effortlessly build reputation. And maybe you think you don't know how to tell stories, but that's not true. We all have stories. Some just haven't learned how to structure them. To tell a good story, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a writer. You don't need to dramatize. Furthermore, you just need structure. Start with a simple truth. What was happening at that moment? Then go deeper. What was the challenge? The conflict? And finish with clarity. What changed and what you learned. That emotional journey is irresistible to the human brain. Now think with me. How many conversations in your day would become deeper if you used a story? How many people could you inspire at work? How many family moments would gain more meaning? How many superficial dialogues would become unforgettable? The more stories you tell, the more people will listen, and the more they'll remember you. Because in the end, it's not the event that leaves a mark, it's the journey. And every time you share a journey, you give someone else permission to find their transformation. The story continues. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay strong.